Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audio fiction. This is a new series part of Holiday Magic Season and it's called All I Want for Christmas. So I hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you smash that like button, comment down below what you think of it and what's happening next, and subscribe if you haven't already, because there is so many more parts to come and so many more goodness coming through the holiday magic season, and I hope you enjoy. Part 2. A very troubled Adrien's POV.
Calm down, kid. You know I'm limited to what I can say, and there are rules we need to follow.
Plagg shouted back in frustration and then flew off grumbling.
I know all this. We talked about it last night, but the pit in my stomach hasn't gone away with sleep like you suggested, nor would a round of cheese.
Adrien dropped onto the edge of his bed and placed his jaw into his hands. A sound closer to a growl poured out between his teeth.
I need to know why Marinette had a photocopy of a page from the grimoire, which seemed to be linked to the snake Miraculous. I mean, it was just there, in her room, stacked casually with other pieces of paper, as if it was that natural for her to have it.
He glanced up, expecting Plagg to be hovering in front of him, but he was nowhere to be seen. Over the past 12 hours, dotted between patches of sleep, he had thrown out countless questions at his Kwame with no answers in return. Rather, he had taken to hiding in his cheese cupboard and throwing out the usual line of refusal.
Plagg, if you don't start talking soon, I will have no option to use the cheese card. How would you feel about a week on those cheese slices? It's not even cheese. They even melt like plastic. Then talk. It's Marinette, who I'm falling in love with. I was ready to confess today, and now this? Why, Plagg? Why her? Kid, think. Wasn't she Multi-Mouse once? She came in with all the other Kwamis and saved me and Tiki. Even I admit she was amazing that day in coming up with the plan. She is clever, the way she thinks outside the box to solve solutions. What if she was working on those pages to solve the countless questions, to help beat Shadow Moth?
Plagg let out a little sigh and flew to Adrien's shoulder. You think Ladybug asked her to study the grimoire? To help us in that way, since she isn't able to use the mouse Miraculous anymore?
Perhaps. One of the big rules is as Kwamis aren't allowed to know the secrets in case, well...
It was very rare for Plagg to let his guard down and show the sadness he felt for his friends and the need to help to get them back. Seeing this caused Adrien to soften and release some of the anger he was feeling. It's just, I'm confused now, and the situation between Marinette and myself has become even more complicated.
Let's say she was helping Ladybug. Why would that make things more complicated between the two of you, since you're Cat Noir and have been visiting her as both?
Yeah, you might have a point there, Plagg. Plagg flew up and scrunched his little face and then folded his arms smugly.
Excuse me? Say that again? I was right?
You weren't right. You just made a good point. Adrien couldn't help letting out a little chuckle, enjoying the sensation it brought. Oh, I love her, Plagg. And it feels different from how I felt about Ladybug. But
what if she wasn't just helping Ladybug? What if that's where your head is going now? The bakery girl could be Ladybug? Well, I've said it before with less evidence. Kid, all you got is a photocopy of a page. That isn't enough to confront Ladybug. Say you know her identity, especially given the rules she has against it. Then I'll collect more evidence. Prove to myself once and for all she is Ladybug. And how are you gonna do that without giving away your cat noir, genius? Simple. I will spend more time with her, as much as possible, with Marinette and Ladybug. I will compare all the little details and stop being so blind to what's in front of me. That'll be the day, Plagg muttered to himself. Then what? If you're right, what will you do? Tell her you know? Date her as Marinette?
Plagg threw out the loaded questions, casually smirking to himself as he watched Adrien become more confused.
I don't know. If she is, you know who? She ain't Voldemort,
sniggered Plagg, but Adrien hadn't noticed.
Then she's rejected Cat countless times. Rejected that side of me. So how would Adrien be so different? How can I be with her if she doesn't accept the whole of me? Kid, before yesterday, you would have classed Marinette and Ladybug as two different people, confused at your feelings for two different people. Yeah, and? Oh, you mean she might be?
Plagg muttered something under his breath and flew off across the room, picking up the CD Adrien had placed down last night.
Here.
He dropped it into Adrien's outstretched hands.
Looks to me, bakery girl might not be in love with Cat Noir, but it doesn't mean she doesn't have feelings for him. Now, can I go and eat in peace for a while?
Adrien didn't answer as his little friend's words sank in and stared at Marinette's handwriting on a post-it. To put you in a festive spirit and know you're not alone? Merry Christmas, Kitty. He flipped it over and saw the track list with tiny hearts around certain ones, made by a Sharpie. He opened the case to get the CD out and a folded piece of paper flew out. Kitty. Each track I have marked is one of my favorites and holds a special meaning. Know you are always welcome on my balcony if you need to talk or just the company. That's what friends are for, after all. Adrien could sense the calming sensation of his princess through her words. Plagg was right. Again, he groaned. Marinette might not be in love with her, Kitty, but she had shown time and time again that he meant something to her, that she cared for him, and that had been enough for him, believing he might have a chance as Adrien. So, if she was Ladybug, why did it matter so much to him of her different feelings? Ladybug had even told Cat that she couldn't love him, that she loved another. If Marinette was Ladybug, could he be that other? He refocused his attention back to the letter in his hand. The tracks were listed below and been given a number besides them and a note. Number 1 had been All I Want for Christmas, with a note saying, I like to sing this song on the first day I decorate for the coming season, sending out my Christmas wish. as you already know. The image of last night popped inside his head of her singing across a starry night, bathed in a rainbow of colours from the fairy lights, as Adrien realised how much this girl meant to him, hoping he might be her Christmas wish. I hope your Christmas wish comes true for you this year, no matter what it happens to be. Adrien grinned at her words. If only she knew. He continued, Number 2? It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I tend to listen to this track when I need a pick-me-up around the holidays or help to build up the enthusiasm at the start. I love to listen to the jazzy beat in contrast to the lyrics. So I hope this helps to bring warmth and happiness at this time of year, no matter where you are or who you're with. Remembering how he compared his father to Scrooge and let out a light chuckle since he had left his princess. He ambled over to his sound system and placed a CD and skipped the tracks until he reached that one. As the piano sound filled his room, he pulled out his phone and searched for the lyrics. He could see why she enjoyed this song so much. There was something about it that helped to put a smile on your face, with certain lyrics standing out to him, a reminder of Marinette. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that you sing, right within your heart. He even hummed the tune as he got ready for school, finding his mood had lightened. Yes, things had got a tad more complicated with finding that sheet of paper, but trying to focus on the bright side. As Christmas was approaching, he could see his princess in an hour, whether she was Ladybug or not. He was still falling in love with her. And if she turned out to be Ladybug, then maybe all of his wishes will come true if he could work out what exactly both sides meant to her. All he needed to do was start opening your eyes to what's in front of you, Plagg had called out. Hey, Plagg, it's time to go to school. Are you ready? Adrien grabbed onto a piece of camembert to lull his friend out. Are you ready, more like? Know what you're gonna do yet? Plagg flew in front and held his mouth open as Adrien threw the cheese into the air. Yeah, I think I have a plan. He could hear Natalie calling, followed by a knock on the door by his bodyguard. He picked up his bag and gestured for Plagg to hide. As the car pulled up to the steps outside the school, he could feel the quickening flutter in his stomach, glancing at the faces of the students gathering. As Adrien, he had last seen Marinette on the ship, giving each other a farewell hug as she thanked him yet again for all his help as he fumbled of the words to ask her out on an actual date. Yet, as Kat, he had seen her last night and ended up changing everything. But the issue was now, which one should he be? Guarded and act like the last week hadn't happened, or lean on her new dynamics and follow through with this new plan? Wrapping his blue scarf around the collar of his jacket, he smiled as he spotted the familiar gestures of Marinette's arms waving in the air as she told some sort of story to Zoe, Rose and Julika. He hovered on the spot, surprised not to find Ali and Nina with her. He became unsure of approaching. He was about to take a step back and weave round for the lockers when he heard Zoe's voice call out his name. He turned back round and found Marinette's smile beaming at him, with a cute pink in her cheeks, and he couldn't help but agree to join them. Adrien, I was just saying to Marinette, a massive thank you for the gathering on Saturday and the tree you two made together. That was an amazing idea, said Zoe. Oh, that was all Marinette. I just helped where I could, Adrien said, whilst fiddled with the strap on his bag. That's not true, Adrien. We were a team. We did it together. Marinette said, catching his attention, and felt his own cheeks blush at the soft smile she was giving him. I really enjoyed creating that project with you. He noticed their friends make silent gestures to leave in the corner of his eye as he continued to focus on Marinette. Was this the moment he'd been looking for to pull off his plan? Well, I was hoping you might say that. I could do with some help to craft my own project. I have some sketches, but not the final design like you had done with the tree. Yeah, cool. I mean, I would love to help you. The crafting, not the designing, unless you would like my help. With the last design, that is. She darted a gaze from her feet to his eyes and let out a cute giggle and then shot them back down again. Great! I can show you at lunchtime if you're about. Yeah, it's a date. I mean, it's a plan. A plan for us to meet and go over your designs. Not a date, but as friends. She was nervous too, which helped him a little with his. Oh, how much he wanted to call it a date. But no. Once his head was a little clearer, then he would ask her on a proper date. Cool. We had better... Are you going to the lockers? Yeah. She nodded her head as his fingers brushed against hers. The touch ignited a magnetic force within his skin, drawing his hand to hers. As her gaze locked onto his, their hands became entwined, and so her eyes widened, followed by a deep blush, finishing with a cute grin. Yeah, this felt right. Small steps. Thank you for listening to part 2 of All I Want for Christmas. Make sure you smash that like button. Comment down below what you think of it and where it's going and what will happen in part 3, which should be coming out on Sunday. But if you're listening to this in the future, it might be here now. So just click on it. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future parts and future episodes and one-shots to come. Okay, hope you're good, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.